Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniatures. Today we've got a release that I was very excited to print off, and it's actually not this guy in front of you, he's just part of it. This is the champion of the Comet Lord from, obviously, Comet Lord Miniatures. And while he's not a whole lot to look at the moment, he is pretty cool looking. He's got the big bulky arm, sword slung over the shoulder, which did not want to print as straight as it should have, but nevertheless, I got a little support in there that we need to deal with. If you've never seen Comet Lord stuff, most of his models, especially the human-sized ones, often come in a variety of poses. So I printed this one because it was very berserkish, very Artorias looking, but they had this other really cool one where he was posed on top of this like floating tetrahedron thingy, which looked quite cool and dynamic. And there was a matching base. It needs a 50mm base in order for it to sit, and actually it's pretty stable. Obviously I'm going to need to fill in the holes because it's hollowed, and it looks pretty neat. But actually that's not what I really wanted to show off today. I guess it could be kind of like, you know, how it started, how it's going. But actually what we want to see is going to go on this big sucker. That is a 100mm base. And so after making the champion of the Comet Lord, which there actually is a very large model, and one of these days I might just succumb to actually printing it up myself. No, our poor champion has become corrupted. And when I saw this monstrosity getting sculpted, I just could not wait. I was eagerly anticipating its release because this was totally up my alley. There's the legs. And the other thing I gotta say is this thing almost printed completely flawlessly for me. And you can see we still have our champion somewhere in there. But I saw this and I was like, oh my god, this is so something I have got to print. So we have the top and the bottom. And then we have the arms. And again, everything was hollowed out. And the detail is quite nice. And it all lined up pretty well, actually. I'm obviously going to go in and put some putty or green stuff in there to tighten up those joints a little bit. And then his cloak. His cloak has become this massive tentacly. I'm not sure if it's skin or if it's tentacles, or what the deal is. I have no clue what's left of his cloak there, because there's plenty of tentacles coming off. Fortunately, this did not line up as neatly and as nicely as I would like, but that's easily something that I can fix. And finally, for the final part, we have, well, his sword. Yeah, his sword has kind of gotten really, really big, and really, really attached to his arm. That's how it's supposed to go. So yeah, actually even the sword is hollow, and this is the only spot I had any failure of the entire thing, and I was just using the stock settings on my Anycubic, nope, it's a Frozen Sonic Mini, and was using the standard Elegoo Gray resin that I usually play around with. So that was the only little error. If you guys have any recommendations for Sonic Mini settings for that Elegoo Gray, I would love to know it. So other than that, everything came out really nice, really huge, and really dramatic. So I am absolutely looking forward to putting this sucker together and seeing just what we come up with and just how big it's going to be. So sit tight, let me grab some glue, and we're going to get them all primed up, and we'll see just how awesome he turns out. So like I said earlier, how it started, how it's going. This thing is just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. That is, I think it's a 100mm base. The smaller one barely fits on a 32mm base. I can't even film it with this guy. Sorry, friend. You're going to have to wait over there. So I got him pinned on the base there, because otherwise there's no possible way he's going to stay. Details are a lot more discernible now. And I forgot to get that little support in between his arm and the blade. And yeah, it's a bit... But other than that, it's workable. It's doable. We are definitely going to make this pop. Or at least attempt to. I did go ahead and actually print out the base. And check this out. I don't know what's up. Sometimes everything prints wonderfully, and then sometimes we get weird, wobbly things like this. And after talking to people on Facebook and on Discord, and, you know, playing with the settings, it didn't matter. Still getting all kinds of weird errors. But that is a 50mm base. I do think it looks pretty cool like that. I do need to fill in that hollowed out spot, which I thought I did, but I guess not. But let's get to the main event here. So yeah, this guy. As you can see, just there is a massive amount of detail. And like I said, I did need to pin him. There's just no possible way. I don't feel good about just having him glued on there. I didn't do the best job down there. Don't really care either. So I did try to fill in some of the gaps. I thought I filled in that one, and then the stuff just came off. So that was fun. I don't think most of the other gaps are as noticeable. And I did try to fill stuff in. Some spots are better than others. But, you know, I think it works. I probably should have filled in that little gap down there, but it's not that big of an issue. I honestly and truly have no clue how I am going to paint this. Man, I thought I did a better job of that, but I guess not. Look at that. I'm thinking like these harder looking shell parts, doing like in a dark red, or maybe a reddish purple. I don't know, and then doing the tentacles themselves in purple. Where did the hole go? There it is. So just to give you guys a good comparable idea of what else is in this size range. So we zoom things out a bit here. That sword is just massive. I'm just like still in awe. Here is the Blood Beast. I believe that's what it was called. Also from Comet Lord. And a regular human from Comet Lord that I did recently as well. So, yeah, this is just craziness. I am eagerly looking forward to trying to tackle this. I got no idea how I'm going to do that. Between this and some of the other big, ridiculous stuff I've printed, I mean, it's like, at some point I actually have to get it painted. It's just too much. But it is a very cool sculpt. This is currently, as of this video, it's on Comet Lord's Patreon right now. I believe this guy is actually on the website along with some other interesting stuff like this dude as well. And I mean, hey, if you like interesting, varied, and crazy, unique looking monsters for your tabletop, I say go for it. I'm going to have to find some sort of use for him. I'm thinking more along greater demon levels. I mean, especially with that base size, I'll find something. Worst case, we'll have him as his own personal unit in Dragon Rampant. But yeah, just a big, fun, wild model. But honestly, at this point, that's basically what I've come to expect from Comet Lord. Cool looking normal people, crazy big monsters like those guys. If you haven't ever checked this stuff out, do take a look. There is plenty of interest and a lot of stuff that actually has a home in typical tabletop RPGs as well. We'll put those links down below, so do give them a look. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.